This episode of the Golf Gambling Podcast from the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code GOLFSGPN. The Sports Gambling Podcast is back with their 32-team NFL previews. They're also bringing back the phrase that pays. Each episode, they'll give out one word of a 32-word phrase. Submit the phrase for a chance to win a $1,000 Circa future. Circa Millions, the world's greatest sports book, Circa Las Vegas, is hosting the biggest pro football contest, the Million, the Survivor, and the Grandissimo. Win over $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Come hang with SGPN at the Circa Contest weekend, August 21st to 23rd, for an amazing weekend, including live shows, open bars, plus you get 15% off a stay at Circa with promo code SGP15. The contests are open to everyone. Sign up in Nevada and play from anywhere. With the help of SGPN's official proxy, go to footballcontest.com and use code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. We're back. We're back with I almost forgot the name of the tournament, but it's called the 3M Open, an event, birdie fest, summer of birdies, whatever you want to call it. Weaker field, but it is what it is. We have DFS to build, and I think this is going to be a great week to build DFS lineups because there's going to be some chalky guys, a lot of great chalk to avoid potentially, and a lot of great opportunities. So I got my screen pulled up. Let's not waste any time. Let's get through it. 10K range. Who we picking? We fading? What are we doing? Maverick McNeely, Sam Burns, Chris Gotterup. I'm going to say it right now. I think this is a great week to fade the 10K range and build 9K and make it a very balanced build for a few reasons. If there's one guy, I think it's probably Chris Gotterup, and that's because he's playing great golf and there's a great course fit for him, but it's tough to stomach Chris Gotterup at $10,000, truthfully. The other two guys, Maverick McNeely, Sam Burns, they also make sense, but I just think everyone's going to click one of these guys, in my opinion. I think it's a great way to get different and start in the 9K range because a lot of water around TPC Twin Cities. It can go south very, very quickly. But if you're playing on the fairway, it can go north very, very quickly, meaning you can make a lot of birdies, vault your way up the leaderboard. So I'm going to say we're skipping this 10K range. If you have to pick one, I think it's Gotterup. I think the Ryder Cup buzz is really circling in him. It could be pressure, though. So, I don't know. I'm going to fade the 10K range, build in the 9K range. We got Wyndham Clark 9.8 down to Sungjae Im 9 flat. Towards the bottom, I mean, can you really, whatever you want, make what you want to say about him. Can you go wrong with Tony Finau at $9,100? I don't know his motivation. It's really concerning, honestly, because I don't know how much he really wants to win or care to play this event. Why is he even playing? But Tony Finau at $9,100 in this very, very weak field, if he was 10-2, no one would bat an eye because he played fine at the Open. I think he's a great click and probably will be my second or first guy in this lineup. Like, he's more consistent than Siwoo Kim. Max Grazeman might have a similar ceiling right now. Taylor Pendra's really up and down. Why is Ricky 9.5 and Wyndham Clark off of a one good week? I don't like it at all. So I think Tony Finau is the only certain click in this 9K range, truthfully. And then when you get down towards this 8K range, you really start to build. If I have to go with another guy in this 9K range, it's probably Siwoo Kim, because although he's risky, he's very high ceiling. Like, Siwoo Kim can easily win this event and easily miss the cut by $1 million, but he's not going to be super, super owned, and he provides that really, really high ceiling, high reward. So I think Siwoo Kim is a great risky pick, and I think he might be my second guy in this lineup. Sungjae Im, I do not trust the iron play at all from him right now. 8K range, Jake Knapp down to Akshay Bhatia and Kevin Yu. I love this range a lot. Davis Thompson, $8,800. I think he's way too cheap for the ceiling that he brings in. And think of golf courses where Davis Thompson has played well at. TPC Deer Run, a golf course where you can let the driver loose and make birdies. Torrey Pines, a golf course where you have to hit the driver straight. It's what you have to do at TPC Twin Cities, too. Doesn't have the best track record around here. I believe he just played it one time. But the ceiling Davis Thompson brings to the table, the style of golf that you need to play around TPC Twin Cities, makes a ton of sense. So I definitely love Davis Thompson at $8,800. I believe he is a little bit underpriced. I'm fading Jake Knapp off of a good week in Scotland. I just think he's a little bit too high. Like, I like some guys down towards the middle of this 8K range. Mike Thorbjornsen, if he gets over 10%, 11%, I'm probably avoiding him. But at the core, I like him. I think there's some better young guns at cheap pricer. So I will go to those guys right now. And that's Luke Clanton at $8,100. Why is Luke Clanton so much cheaper than Michael Thorbjornsen? I guess one good week at TPC Deer Run off of a backdoor. Maybe that's why. Luke Clanton's hitting it tremendously. He's just putting poorly, which is fine. Like, the putter can come and go, and Luke Clanton has shown to be able to putt when he needs to. So I'm down for Luke Clanton. Also, don't mind Keith Mitchell. I think he's a better DFS play than he is a bet. He's got great track record here, multiple top fives, I believe, and when you look at Keith's profile, what does he do really, really well? Drives it long and straight. That is the blueprint number one for TPC Twin Cities. You have to drive it long and straight. And then finally, Akshay Bhatia. Super low price for the ceiling that he brings in. He posted his best approach week of the season just 2 or 3 starts ago, and he's finally gaining strokes with a driver. And he's 8K in this really weak field. This reminds me a lot of Colin Morikawa before he started to be a winner. And now he's a loser right now. But before he was a winner, Colin was a young gun and won the Barracuda Championship, won a major, and then won a few events around like 30, 40 to 1. It's kind of what the position that Akshay is in right now. So I like Akshay a ton at 8K. I'm not going to click anyone yet, but we'll circle back. We'll start with Tony Finau and Siwoo Kim. 7K range. We have a bigger range. We'll split this into Cam Champ down to Sam Stevens, and then we'll do the bottom. So again, Cam Champ, I believe, is a little bit overpriced. I know he's won this event multiple times, but I'm definitely fading him. I'm also fading Haotong Li. I think Haotong Li is going to be overly chalky. If you don't know much about Haotong Li, he's extremely volatile. He can easily miss this cut, easily hit it in the water far too many times. So I'm definitely out on Haotong at this price. I got no problem with Rico Hoey. Rico Hoey, $7,800 off of that great week at the Barracuda. I know he had a poor round 4, but he's minting fairways and he's long. Like, Rico Hoey being long and straight off the tee will elevate him tremendously. Start him on second base if you would in this field. So I'm definitely down for Rico at 78. Towards the middle of the 7K range, I really like Jacob Bridgman. Jacob Bridgman, all green across the board at TPC Deer Run and all green across the board in this event last year. Those are stars aligning, dots connecting. I think it's a great setup for Jacob Bridgman. I'm buying his ceiling tremendously at $7,500. I'm also like Sam Stevens, $7,500 as well. The approach play is a bit concerning, but I like Sam Stevens off the tee. I expect him to hit a lot of fairways and keep it out of trouble. That's a third of the field is going to be done from the start because they just can't hit fairways, can't keep it out of the water and out of the. If you're missing fairways, you cannot possibly make birdies from 190 yards. You just can't do it at a high enough rate. Sam Stevens will give himself chances from the fairway, at least to just make the cut. And at 75, like, you need to have a cut made. So I like Sam Stevens. I like Jacob Bridgman, and I like Rico Hoey towards the top of this 7K range. Towards the bottom of the 7K range, there's no reason not to go back to Johnny Vegas. He's in fine enough form and arguably just as good form as he was last year. Why is he not like $8,300? I think Johnny Vegas is a great play at 74. Also, Nick Norgard-Muller, high ceiling, high variance. I don't think he's the safest play, but I think he's high ceiling. I think Doug Ghim is a far safer play if you're looking for a safety net at $7,300. Doug Ghim's not the longest golfer in the world, but he's going to hit every fairway, and he's a great middle iron player. He's always questionable on the greens, but I just like him to keep it in play and simply make a cut. And he has a high ceiling. I think he's a great T20 play, which will play tremendously at $7,300. And then Eric Van Rooyen, $7,200 off of a great week at the Barracuda. If you remember, Eric Van Rooyen is usually chalky at this event. Usually always a storyline. He played his college golf at Minnesota, and that buzz has kind of died down. I haven't heard any Eric Van Rooyen Minnesota buzz this year. Probably because his course history here is horrible, but he's priced at $7,200 off of a great week at the CUDA. I love Eric Van Rooyen to pop again, at least make a cut. And at $7,200, we know what his ceiling could be if he makes the cut and makes a ton of birdies on the weekend. So that's EVR 7.2K. And then anyone else at the bottom of the 7K range that I like, I don't mind Hayden Springer. Hayden Springer is coming off of some great driving. He's driving it as well as he has all year long. And remember back to early season, he played really well at Torrey Pines. If you could play really well at Torrey Pines, ask you very similar questions to TBC Twin Cities. So I like that for Hayden Springer at 7K flat. Before we get to the 6K range, quick ad read. MyBookie.ag is what we were brought to you by. Your place to bet on every single sport, including the MLB, WNBA, golf, and of course football futures. They accept customers from everywhere. Easy deposit, lightning fast payout using crypto. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code GOLF SGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code GOLF SGPN. And finally, Rhythm. You've heard us talk about Rhythm a ton, and they've just released Power Trends. AI detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won at a high ROI. Think about a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when a line hits a certain range. Power trends are updated daily, and they give you no touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. So head to Rhythm, 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Okay, 6K range, and then we will build a lineup. $6,900. Anyone I want to touch on? No, truthfully, no. $6,800, Stephen Fisk. I do like Stephen Fisk at $6,800. What Stephen Fisk has shown in his rookie campaign is that he has a high ball striking floor, meaning he can gain 4 strokes ball striking fairly easily. And at $6,800, that will definitely it's definitely solid. It's not a guaranteed made cut, but it's definitely solid in the 6K range. And Fisk is not the longest, but he's straight enough, long enough, and has a good all-around iron play game. So I like him at 68, as well as Chan Kim. Chan Kim has 2 top 20s in his last 4 starts. Nearly won the ISCO championship just a few weeks ago, and the ISCO championship was a far harder test than Royal Portrush, if we're being honest. And look at the winning scores. Truthfully, Baked ISCO was tough. So I like Chan Kim at $6,800, as well as what did I say? Stephen Fisk at $6,800. Towards the middle of this 6K range. If you want a ceiling, you want a risky ceiling, Carl Phillips. We know he already won on tour this year. He's definitely long off the tee. His game is not in a great place, if I'm being honest. But if you want a high ceiling, high risk, high reward, don't play Siwoo and Carl Phillips in the same lineup. Play one of them, because one of them definitely can finish inside this top 10. Towards the bottom of the 6K range, Justin Lauer, $6,400 is a great play in my opinion. He tends to play well on really big golf courses that require you to make birdies for whatever reason, and that's what you have to do at TPC Twin Cities. So Justin Lauer, 64. And if we really need to dumpster dive, which personally we don't, because we're going to have a very balanced build, I don't mind going to Troy Merritt. A few years back, this man led the field off the tee at the 3M Open. If you know anything about Troy Merritt, you know anything about the PGA Tour. Troy Merritt is not a generational driver of the golf ball. And this is a big boy golf track in terms of driving. And Troy Merritt led the field off the tee. Definitely very comfortable to his eye. I believe he's from this area of the country. So Troy Merritt has some motivation, has some good vibes around TPC Twin Cities. But now let's go back up and build a lineup before we get out of here. So we have 9K players. If we go to that 8K range, which we really liked, Luke Clinton, $8,100, should make this cut with ease. And I told you, if he could putt, he's going to get into the mix, as well as Akshay. So now we have a very balanced lineup, a very safe lineup, and we still have $7,800 to work with. Let's see what we can do, because I really like all of these guys to make the cut. Sam Stevens, cut maker, safe. And now we have $8,100 to work with. Yeah, this is Rico. Rico's going to bounce back and play well. This is one of the most balanced lineups I've ever built. I think all these guys are going to easily make the cut. I'm going to actually right now go on to FanDuel and see what the odds are if we parlayed all of these guys to make the cut. Let's see if I could share my screen real quick. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm going to reshare my screen. Replace screen sharing. Bang. All right, I think our screen is shared on FanDuel. Let's see what that lineup is to make the cut. So we had Finau, we had Bhatia, we had Siwoo Kim, Luke Clanton. Siwoo is going to be the real Siwoo Kim, Clanton to make the cut, minus 144. Okay, that's 4 guys. Then we have Sam Stevens and Rico Hoey. I don't even know if they're going to offer those guys. They're not going to offer Stevens, and they're not going to offer Hoey. Those 4 guys to make the cut is plus 371. I don't want to call that a lock, but I like that bet. Plus 371. Tony Finau, Akshay Bhatia, Siwoo Kim, and Luke Clanton all make the cut. I might dabble in that a little bit, but that wraps it up. Thank you for joining. You know where to find me if you have any questions, and I'll catch you guys next week for the next event. Don't even know what it is.